Alright, so we're just gonna hop straight into it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Your girl has not had her eyebrows done since, like, I want to say maybe the beginning of February. So it's rough out here, okay? And I'm taking these hair growth vitamins from Walmart. They're called Ello Bello. Been doing wonders for my nails and my hair, and especially my lashes and eyebrows. That's great when I can get them waxed. They've been growing like wildfire, and I thought that this would just be an appropriate time to kind of show you what I've been using to keep them looking decent, especially when I'm doing a look or if I'm just doing a regular everyday face, whatever it may be. The plus side is all of the products that I'm using are cheap or affordable and fairly easy to find. So who doesn't love that, right? So the first thing I do is I get a towel. You can use a paper towel or a regular face towel. And I kind of dehydrate my eyebrows. So I get any excess oil because I am a brows before foundation type of woman. And if you're not, I'm convinced you're a sociopath. So after I put on my moisturizers and I wash my face and do all that good stuff, my skin is naturally oily. Plus the product is just not good if I'm trying to lay my eyebrows. So pat down your brows, especially if you have oily skin. Then I take the next step and use a kind of fluffy brush. This is the one I always use. I need to get some more brushes, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. I dip into some powder. So it can be translucent, it can be banana powder, whatever it may be. So this is just the Morphe powder, just was closest to me. And I put that over my brows. So I kind of place it down and sweep over them. That way, this just absorbs any excess oil I may have missed with the pat down. That way, I can get them to do what I want them to do. When you're putting on a pencil or a pomade or waxy products, they will slip and slide. You can see it in pictures. It's happened to me before when you don't set your eyebrows right and you have extremely oily or combo skin. Now you're going to need an angled brush and a spoolie. It is helpful if you have both in one. So this is from e.l.f. and it was about $3. You can find it at Walmart. You can find it at Target. So you want to brush out your brow hairs. Brush them up. And then I kind of take the top and I create the brow that I want with the spoolie. So again, I'm brushing up. And when you brush them up, you don't want to brush them down, because when you brush them up, it's going to lift your face, lift your brows, and then you're also going to be able to see whatever stray hairs you have at the bottom when you brush them up. So just kind of create the arch, the shape that you want using the spoolie. Now this is a really good brush because of the angled part of the brush. I think it's small enough, it's not too big where you can get precise, but it's also not too stiff. It's just a really good brush. So I have this. Let me show y'all the box. This is what the box came in. I kept it just for this. And so this is the LA Girl Brow Pomade, smudge proof, water resistant, long lasting gel formula. It says all day wear. And I got it in dark brown. So it's GBP365 dark brown. Okay. And I thought it was going to be too dark, but it's actually perfect. It's not too dark. They come in, I think, like 3 or 4 other colors, but this is the one they had, so this is the one I got. I believe I got this at Walmart. It was $5.99. So the brush has been $3. The pomade is about $6, which is still pretty good for a pomade. If you've used like the Anastasia Dip Brow, that can run you about $18 to $20. Okay, so this is still fairly affordable. Comes in your standard jar. So what I do is I tap. I don't try to go in too deeply because it can get carried away real fast. And that's why I stopped using pomades for a while, because it can go left real quick. I'm more of a pencil girl now, but pomades are good when your brows aren't done because they can really snatch up every area almost more precisely, because it's not going to be so light. So I take the little bit that I picked up, and you're going to see it's going to come across. I have to be really careful. But I start in the middle of my brow. I don't start at the front. I start in the middle, and I just do light strokes. So I get as close as I can. to the bottom so I can cover most of the hairs. But I just start in the middle and go to the tail. And then I kind of take it up and create the shape that I want. Now this is when I say you have to be careful because it can get real thick real quick. So dip back in if you need to, but when you dip, just kind of pat. So same thing at the top. I go in the middle, trail it to the back, and then I take a little bit to the front, a little bit to the front here, and we're gonna leave it at that, okay? I don't dip back in. What I do is I take any remaining and I'm creating hairs. So it's really all in the flick of the wrist to create the hairs. And what helps is if you brush, this is why it's good to have the 2-in-1 brush. You flick and then you brush. That way you're distributing the product so you can see how much is actually in your brows. Because what happens is if you keep piling it on, you don't really know how much you have. And then that's when they start looking real thick and you can't see the hairs anymore. So brush as you go. That's a really helpful tip. And then I just, at the front, like I said, I didn't really do too much at the front. I'm just taking the excess and flicking up to create the appearance of hairs. And then I'm gonna take the spoolie and I'm gonna brush up. And then I kind of do this, you don't have to, but I like to see if I made them too thick or if I didn't. And there you go, real quick, real fast, real easy, not too much. Now, if you like a more wet looking brow, you can definitely do more, but I'm more into the fluffy realm right now, so I'm not gonna do that. Now, I didn't have too many hairs under mine because the last time I did a look, I plucked mine out when they were looking a little unruly. You can take tweezers, and I got mine a long time ago, but they sell these at the dollar store. You can get some real cheap tweezers. And then you'll just go underneath and get any excess hairs. So I maybe have like 1 or 2. And I always make this face when I pluck because I hate plucking the hairs under my eyebrows, but it's necessary for a cleaner look. Now, it's not gonna be perfect because it's not obviously as clean as a thread or a wax, but it will at least get you to the point where it's not looking like, oh my God. So the next step, you're going to need an angled brush, and I use just the same one I always use. It's been used kind of stiff, but I like that because it lets me get precise. And then you want to take like a foundation. Now, if you have a concealer that's around your color, you can use that too, it'll work fine. But I say foundation, and I kind of do this every time my brows aren't done because it's going to hide the hairs. When you highlight, you're bringing attention to. So if I put like a super bright color under there, you're gonna be able to see the little hairs that maybe haven't fully grown out yet. We don't want that. We want it to look as seamless as possible. So I just used my Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage, and it helps if you use a full coverage foundation. This is the 24-hour, and I'm in the color 356 Warm Coconut. And you want to use the foundation you're going to be using on your face after you do your brows, because sometimes your foundation is more yellow, more orange, more red, and you can tell under your brows if it all ain't blending. So then I just put a little on my hand to warm it up. Get on the angled brush, and we're just gonna clean. So you want to try to get as close as you can to where you created the brow. And just take your time, create your tail. And then what I do is I just take excess and I lay the brush flat and I smooth it under here. That way it's easier to smooth out. So if you just do the line under your brows, it's gonna be harder to blend because you're gonna be trying to get right up on that line, and that's not necessarily what you wanna do. And then at the front, I start kinda in the middle, and then I take it a little bit past the front just for some wiggle room. I'm gonna take that fluffy brush we started with that still has a little powder on it, which is fine. And I'm going to just buff out the foundation under my brow. And what you can do is you can lift and really get up under there. So like I said, there might still be some hairs, and once you finish buffing, you'll be able to see them a little bit better. It doesn't look like it did when we started. And I really focused the spoolie in the front. That way it looks as hair-like as possible. So it's okay if your brows are thick. I think that's a good look, as long as they're not like thick and dark. If they're thick and they look like natural hairs, then that's really nice in my opinion. So what I do is I go to the front and then I take my finger and I kind of smooth it out. That way it just looks a little bit more natural. And voila, a fluffy, I did what I could do while my brows aren't done brow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one, kind of speed it up, but you can still kind of see what I'm doing, and then I'll come back. Alright, so this is kind of what we are working with. Same deal, fluffy, thick, but the best we can do to do cleanup and damage control. So I'm going to do my whole face, and then I'm going to come back so you can kind of see what the brows look like with a full face. Alright, y'all, so we are back, full face, beat down. How you doing? And this is how my brows look with a full face on. Can't even really tell I even need them done. They just look like fluffy, bushy brows. So overall, I would say the LA Girl Brow Pomade is a win. For $6, listen, I've had the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade and I liked that, but this is still really good as well. Like, I like the formula. I like how easy it is to build it up. It doesn't come off like too harsh. It's really up to you with how you use it, with the brush you use, but the product itself is really, really dope. So good job, LA Girl. Y'all did the doggone thing. So if you enjoyed this video, you thought it was helpful, gave you some tips, you enjoyed me, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It helps your girl out a lot. And go ahead and subscribe to become a part of the Trees Tribe. You won't want to miss what we got coming. It's a good time over here. You can ask people. Look, I ain't gotta lie. Be safe, stay beautiful, do something that makes you happy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.